Hey, David.
How are you?
That is some jacket. Congrats on it. That's incredible.
Recording in
doing
progress.
Well. We're announcing an in All the Smoke partnership today. I don't know if you're aware or not, but in the event that you are, please don't mention it here because that is embargoed until a little bit later today, okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Do not mention All the Smoke. I'm saying that one more time for Stu and Dan.
Got it. Thank you. Hello, David.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Yeah, I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls better tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You can't go on, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Man, Dan looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he'd pull another one off. But that's 2 in a row. Fred Flintstone and now this.
What does he look like?
Raleigh fingers?
You can't see in that costume?
No puedo ver ni pinga.
Okay. All right. So
You don't have a dick?
he can't see even dick is the what he said, literally
thank you.
translated in Spanish. I don't know what you're supposed to be. Is that famous DJ?
Mike, am I? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a Dead Mouse helmet. I get to control the eye color. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You want to see red?
Yes. I'm familiar. Yep.
And that's the punishment. Mine is Captain Hook, and I'm a bit disturbed. I got to be honest. I'm a bit disturbed that every time I put on one of these costumes, everyone says it's a better look for me than the one I usually rock.
Your look.
I mean, yes, my regular look, evidently, I look less handsome than this. David Sampson joins us now in one of his patented loud jackets. That one's your favorite, correct, of the loud jackets?
No, this is just the one that was up for today.
It seems like your go-to jacket. I'm with Dan. Like, you wear that one more often than the other jackets.
He's got one that's got like rhinestones on it or sparkles on it that looks a lot like that.
Yeah, so the answer is no, Stu. It actually is in a particular order. So it rotates every, let's say, 20 or 30 days. So you may have seen it, but no, it's just a coincidence that this comes out on a Wednesday today.
Do the jackets just go around and around in your closet? Is that how it works?
I manually do it. I don't have the dry cleaner thing. I have to actually, when I take a jacket, I take it from the left, and at the end of the day, I put it back on the right.
What would you say of all of your idiosyncratic traits is the most obsessive, compulsive, anal one, even by your standards? Like in terms of being meticulous, preparation, even you say, this is too much. I do this too much.
I think what gets in the way of my relationship is that whenever I come back from a trip, no matter what time of day or night, I have to do all.
Again with the sound on this.
Yeah.
I don't know what
he's
to
the
do
only
about
one.
This.
He's the only one, and he's got to blame us for it.
I don't know what to do about this anymore. The fact that his sound never works.
I'm in a different.
Perfect.
Same results, though. I mean,
Yeah. All right.
I don't know what to tell you, David. I'm sorry. We're going to have to let you go for a moment, and we're going to try to get this right. There's a lot I want to talk to.
Do me a favor and skip it, because every other show I do is fine. And I'm now in a different location than I was.
This honestly would be a great bid.
It is.
It's an incredible
Just
bid.
fill in the blank.
I wish it was.
It's so good.
It's Groundhog Day.
Timing on the
It's
last
our
two.
fault. We're the only person it happens to. He's the only person it happens with. It's
This is the only
incredible.
He is getting stuck in a situation where he believes that our company is actively sabotaging him, doesn't promote his stuff, doesn't support his stuff. Nothing personal is a nothing. I just saw out of the corner of Captain Hook's eye, and I got to be honest, it's hard to see because there's a lot of things in my way. This is uncomfortable. I don't smell good already because this material's not very good material.
The materials, huh?
Well, I was clean. I did shower before coming in, and I'm sweating because I don't know what this cheap material is, but it's making me sweat, which is compounded by the idea that his sound doesn't work and we're on live. And furthermore, Mike spent the first 30 seconds before we went on air just screaming at everyone in video because something went
off to a good start.
Something went wrong.
We're all good. Look at his eyes now.
Yeah.
Make him red again.
I can make him flash. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
David, do me a favor, since you are just sitting there and we've established now that your sound isn't going to work, I will now do our show as if you're not here, but you stay there because...
I saw that.
I'll grab it for you.
You saw my hat fall off?
Wow, you instantly became Ron Jeremy.
The mustache is going next. The mustache
Ron
will,
Jerbear.
will
The
fall.
hat makes you a pirate. Now you're Ron Jeremy.
All right. But, David, just stay there, and hopefully at some point your sound is good enough.
You look like you're in the Eagles without the hat.
Maybe I can do that as a punishment after this, like Captain Hook, and then I'll just remove the hook and then just be Don Henley.
You're Glenn Fry now.
So instead of talking about the winter meetings, which is what I wanted to talk about, because there's interesting nothing happening there, and somehow the Dodgers have pissed off Ohtani because all Ohtani prefers is sort of a privacy about everything that's happening now, and Dave Roberts has fouled that up for the Dodgers.
Don't you hate it when something secret becomes public?
We heard that.
Yes, we hear. All right, so David's back. Give us your winter meeting thoughts for as long as we have sound from you.
Dave Roberts is in trouble, but Ohtani's not going to skip the Dodgers because Dave Roberts said they met with him. The Dodgers have a built-in excuse if he goes back to the Angels now. And this whole Ohtani veil of secrecy where the media feels entitled to have more action at the winter meetings. On today's Nothing Personal, I gave the solution. So I want to know if you guys agree with my solution for how to fix the winter meetings. The deadline for signing all free agents should be the last day of the winter meetings. And if you don't sign by today, then you can't sign till spring training. How about that?
It's a great idea, but not surprisingly, you don't consider labor. That's good. It's good.
Talking
It's
right
good
now.
that your sound is down. I don't even want to hear. I don't even want to. It's good. In fact, we should use this as a device even when it's not working.
I don't understand this one, but back out and back in. So we'll hopefully fix that, okay? So get out of the room and we'll welcome you aboard. In the meantime, we'll talk about other things.
There are many.
A guy named Dick Fitz got traded yesterday.
What?
So, yeah, it was a rare trade between the Yankees and Red Sox, and everyone got excited about Verdugo. I'm asking with a question. Is there a question mark in his name?
I think it's Verdugo.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But Dick Fitz got traded in that move.
Great fit.
That is not a good name for success. I think we did that game with Will Lutz, and who was the other one last week? We had somebody last week.
Marty Mordenweg.
That one was as well.
Eberflus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eberflus.
Yeah.
You cannot trust an Eberflus to win you a championship.
Right.
And the only thing that's happened at the winter meetings is this Dick Fritz move, right?
Dick Fitz.
Dick Fitz is
That's
on
a
the
fine,
move.
yeah. He just
It is,
said it. I mean,
yeah, it is a fine. That is correct. So Dick Fitz is on the move.
I hope he fits in with the Red Sox.
You're a dick.
Touche.
Speaking of, David Sampson's back.
Oh, boy.
Let's see if his sound works. It's a good idea, but you're not considering labor.
All right.
All right, we're going to let him go.
The sound's always going to be off if you ask him to consider labor.
Right.
You know,
His thoughts on labor.
Everyone
Yes.
wants more live programming.
It's too bad.
Not sure that's a dick fit for us.
Max is where you can find us live. Mike Ryan doesn't trust us live. It's why we're only doing an hour instead of a sprawling spectacle that spends its morning with you.
You're finding out why on a daily basis.
Yes, and he hasn't trusted us going live for a while, and we force it upon him, and he doesn't want to do it. But I want to get into what it is that happened with Jaylen Phillips last night. Chris Cody, it seemed like it was a dark night of the soul. I've had many of those recently, and he went to social media to share his pain. We were talking a lot at the end of yesterday's show about the pain these football players must be in. And there's a lot to discuss today, Stugotz, because the portal's crazy, because everybody wants more money. All of the players see they have more value. And in the NFL, you see the most valuable position, Stugotz. A Browning can make himself some money on a Monday night.
Yes.
Because all of the other quarterbacks are going to be sent to the hospital.
Right.
And so eventually somebody's going to have to stand up. And they're already digging around in the Tim Boyle bin. So
that's a sad bin to be digging around in. I got to be honest with you.
For
The
sure.
saddest of bins, yeah.
I was asking Mike before the show if he would want Tim Boyle to start for the University of Miami in its bowl game.
There's no way. No way.
A professional quarterback.
That's a downgrade. I'm not certain he's a professional quarterback. I have no proof.
Miami is on their third string quarterback.
Still
in this
a
bowl
downgrade.
game. Yeah. I would prefer the opportunity to evaluate the third string quarterback.
There was agreement throughout the room when I lobbed that at Mike that nobody wanted a professional quarterback who had started an NFL game to replace the disappointing Tyler Van Dyke.
I'll take him as the backup in Miami.
The position is
As opposed to the walk-on that we have right now, fine, I'll concede. Tim Boyle can back up Jakari
The
Brown
walk-on, yes.
at the pinstripe ball.
But Mike wants to see what the walk-on
Provided
has,
he
right?
beats out Jeff George's son.
my larger
been there.
point, Stugotz,
Cannon.
on this sport is that obviously people are tired of me saying how much it hurts, but I also think how much it hurts becomes not sustainable when you can't hit the quarterback in the head, you can't hit the quarterback in the knees, and all of the quarterbacks are hurt, all of them. And you can't keep them healthy
Not one.
at all. Well, that's what McDaniel said. McDaniel said, as far as I'm concerned, we've got the healthiest quarterback year I've ever seen.
That's the funniest thing in football, right? That
Crazy.
of all of the quarterbacks, it's Tua who's the one that we're saying, like, all right,
Yep.
he's healthy.
And Lamar Jackson. It's a weird year.
It's also a work of art. Both of them told they couldn't be quarterbacks, but all you have to do to be a quarterback today is, can you be a functioning heart like Tim Boyle? We'll get you in the game if all the other guys get hurt. And they happen to be two of the remaining healthy ones that are still standing somehow, even though we worried about their health more than any of the other quarterbacks in the league.
But you're right about Browning because Joe Burrow goes down, he gets an opportunity, and the backup quarterback has become so valuable because of what we're talking about. So many starters are getting injured, and so you can make yourself a ton of money if you have a couple of good games replacing the starting quarterback.
Can you guys see if I'm putting my hand up?
Yes, I
can see your hand, Tony.
Okay,
yes.
just making sure.
We should turn your eyes a certain color when you want to talk.
You can't tell if your own hand is up?
No, my hand is up. I don't know if Dan can see me if my hand is up. Anyways, more importantly,
We can see you.
That's why Zach Wilson playing is such an important thing for him, right? Like, you have a chance to be one of those guys that can just sit as a backup quarterback, make a couple $1 million a year, and not worry about it. So the report saying, hey, I don't want to come back, that's already torching a bridge for next season, the season after that, being a backup.
I think we do green eyes when he's making a good point,
No.
red when he's making a bad point, and
Right.
another color when he wants to talk.
I made it green because he was talking about the Jets.
Okay. But I like Chris's idea. Like green, go, red. When you hit red, he has to stop talking.
Can't
I
see
don't
his
think
own
he can
eyes.
see it, though.
He
I
can't,
see the
even
color.
see his own hand.
Oh, he can. You can see the color?
I can see the color inside.
Okay,
Okay.
so when you
See
see
it?
that red
All right.
light, shut the fuck up.
I think, Tony, too, I need you to move closer to Mike. I think I need you in the second seat because when you're in that seat and you're not, I want you to raise your hand every time you talk. I want to be able to see it on your face the way that we normally do it. We don't want to do a classroom here where everyone who wants to talk has to raise their hand. But can we get the Jaylen Phillips, Mike? Can we get that set up? And is the sound going to work on Jaylen Phillips?
Well, there's no sound. It was an emotional post. It's if someone sends you this text, you're like, too long, didn't read. So you can tell by the length of it and the time that it was posted, where he admits it's 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
that he was actually going through it. Kind of career crossroads kind of stuff. You have to keep in mind, Jaylen Phillips was a guy that medically retired during his time at UCLA. Then the story is he goes to University of Miami, builds his body and his career back up, ends up being a first-round draft pick and a real good player for the Miami Hurricanes and Dolphins. And this is just yet another injury setback. And you can see the frustration. He's like, I've done everything that I possibly could with my body, and all I'm doing is exploding out of the ground. It's a routine thing. It's like opening a car door. And now he's expected to deal with this injury, yet another crippling injury, one that's historically, up until very recently, been hard to come back from. The Achilles injury, especially when you're leaning on explosion, is a very difficult injury to rebound from. And this is, I mean, the guy posted like 6 paragraphs. I'm not going to bore you with it, but those watching on YouTube or on DraftKings Network or on Max can see this guy was going through a lot last night.
Yep, he had some dark moments last night. But I know Billy talked about this last week with Hard Knocks because I finally watched it. And I watched the Jaylen Phillips episode headed into the Jet game. Dan, it was so heartbreaking because he has worked so hard. He's a freak athlete. And he's having a really good year, his best year, and his relationship with Bradley Chubb and Mike McDaniel and the entire defense, and just how great of a season he has or he's been having, and how excited he is to be on this team having the kind of season that he's having. And then it all goes away into play. But you see him right before he tears the Achilles, he grabs his knee. Like he knows something's wrong. He's not certain what it is. And on the very next snap, it tears. And you see him crying, and it's heartbreaking to watch. It really is.
The Hard Knocks version of that was almost too much.
I
You know
know.
how we
It was
want
too much. You're
access?
right.
Because
Yeah.
they knew it was coming, so
Yes.
they were highlighting him leading up to it. They showed every conversation he had before the game, and everyone knew what was coming. I thought it was almost
how happy he was.
I thought it was almost heavy-handed from Hard Knocks because we all knew that was the episode where we were going to see that, and they were showing him just so much before that. I just felt like it was a little gross, honestly.
I skipped that part. Like, I didn't watch this Hard Knocks because I knew Jaylen Phillips' injury was going to be on it. I'm like, I'll see you guys next week. I'm not here for that.
They show before where Mike McDaniel goes up to him and is just like, oh, this is where you're going to become a household name. And it's just...
Black Friday against the Jets, nationally televised
which-
game. You're going to become a household name, and he was having a great game.
In hindsight,
Yes.
you could look at that as like a jinx that he put on him, and it's just so unfair, and it was just all icky.
But we were talking about the way yesterday that we need to be able to be bringing Gen Z into watching sports. Like, the narratives of things like that are the way to do it. Like, if they're not going to watch it in real time, if you're able to set up this full narrative that makes your heart break for this player, and then you want to go follow him on social media and see the posts like this and then watch his whole journey back, that's kind of how you do it.
No, but what Chris is saying, I understand what you're saying. but I tend to agree with Chris.
You tend to agree or you agree?
I agree. They knew they had the injury in their back pocket, and they made an entire episode about a guy whose career might be in jeopardy.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, watching it, I wouldn't want to watch it either, but I'm someone who actually watches sports consistently, and so I knew that it happened. I found the information, and that was it. But if you're trying to bring people in, like probably putting that 2 minutes on TikTok or YouTube or whatever is going to get people to pay attention to, what's going on in sports.
Except for the discomforts around Tony, understandably, is like, nope, don't want to see it. Would prefer to just enjoy my Sundays and not actually think about, we don't have to be with these guys at 3:30 in the morning when Jason Taylor is trying to sleep standing up on a staircase because somebody leg whipped him and he's got compartment syndrome and they're going to have to cut off his leg in 12 hours if he doesn't immediately get to the hospital, but he pops more painkillers. We're not with them when they're having the dark nights of the soul on what this stuff actually results in. But when you get underneath the helmet and you see the humanity in it, who among us couldn't understand working that hard to get to the top of that sport, Stugotz, where the success is, can you get to the quarterback 7 times a season in 2 seconds? Mm-hmm. Success is, did you get there 11 times? That's what success, that's what success is publicly. The way that he had to work to make himself that good, and he knows more than anybody now, Stugotz, not just that this is a hard injury to come back from, but this is one of the hardest injuries to rehab in order to come back from.
Yes.
Like the rehab process
Unless you're Aaron Rodgers.
That's correct. Unless you're Aaron Rodgers, who's not going to play. He's not going to play this year.
It's not looking that way.
Better not.
And he's rehabbing.
Shocking.
He approached rehab like it's his job. Aaron Rodgers has given voice a handful of times on Pat McAfee about how consumed he is with the rehab process. It is a very difficult injury to bounce back from.
But he was playing catch.
I thought he was fine.
The dark parts of this are things that nobody really wants to talk about, right? Like we don't.
It was like crazy to watch, like McDaniel be over him and just be like, "You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be." And it's like you don't even know he's gonna be okay. They have no idea what to say to him in that instance. It's like you'd think that these injuries happen so much that there would be a protocol, and it's just they turn into humans that are just like patting him on the back, like, "Hey, it's all gonna be all right, man." And it was just like, "Whoa, this is real."
Dan, I think for me, like when I tell you I don't want to watch the injury, like I understand that there's such a dichotomy between what we see on TV and what we see during the games, and what we see. What we don't see, like 3:30 in the morning, posting all this stuff. But for me, it takes me to a place where, like, I've been getting injured for free for a long time because I don't get paid to get injured when I play sports. So I've had multiple surgeries. I've had multiple things that have happened to me. So I know what that feels like, where you're sitting there, your ankle swollen like a watermelon. You're like, damn, this sucks. So, like, me to watch that again almost brings me back to a place where I got screwed in playing sports.
Mike Ryan, were you trying to turn him off unsuccessfully?
He said that he could see the lights before, but now I'm doubting it.
But you were trying to turn him off because he was making it about himself?
Well, it just got off to a sputtering start.
I mean, Tony knows what it's like. Pickup game.
I will say that if Tony thinks he knows what it's like, and if Tony is actually
Tony is staring at Stugotz right now.
He is?
He is. It is.
It's a death stare.
Even I can see that.
A dead mouse
there.
stare.
Tony knows in the way that we talk about this, Stugotz, that we can get numb to it, and they're not allowed to. They have to get addicted to painkillers in order to get numb to it. Like they see it all. They live in that carnage. Like all of their friends and teammates are walking around pretending that they hurt less than they do because everybody's got to be a little bit tougher in that world than any of the human beings you know.
It's the part of the game. I really don't want to be privy to it. We are becoming more and more privy to the information. I don't. I just want to see them play on Sundays. But like Dan, you mentioned Jason Taylor. We asked him in that same interview, would you do it all over again? And Jason Taylor quickly said yes.
Yeah, but Stugotz, that's you rationalizing I'm okay to feel this way about it. They're okay with it.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do, yes.
Yeah, the argument that I keep making that I don't, whatever. No, people don't want to hear this again and again and again. When people tell me they know what they're choosing, my response is no, they don't. They don't. Jaylen Phillips didn't know that he was choosing this night. He didn't know it. He didn't know that when he chose football, that this is it. Like, All right. What do you want me to do? Switch it to a channel that can get me to talk about something else. What would you
As
like?
we always do with David Sampson, we get his review. Host of Nothing Personal. David, what are you reviewing this week?
Bye Barry.
Oh,
He's back
Barry.
for now.
Bye Barry is a documentary on Amazon about the career of Barry Sanders, which sadly there are people who are younger than I who don't realize that he may be the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest running back of all time, excuse me. And the toughest part of the documentary is the relationship that Barry had with his father. And at Barry's Hall of Fame induction, his father, who introduced him, said, "Congratulations to the third best running back of all time." Who are the first two? Jim Brown, he said, and then himself. Except he never played football other than in high school, but that's the type of hard-driving sort of ego guy his father was, and all Barry wanted to do was please his father, and then Barry left the game at the height of his career at 31 years old in very famously doing that. It's an interesting documentary. For those of you who've never heard of him, you should watch it. If you did watch him play, watch it so you're reminded how great he was.
Damn what?
He made it all the way through without his sound cutting out.
What was good about it, David? Because I found Barry Sanders outside of his play to be largely uninteresting.
So again, what was interesting to me, as you would think, is the father-son dynamic and what drives greatness. And he's not the biggest guy. He was very compact, and I had just forgotten what his talent was like on the field, and I didn't realize what was going on off the field. And he was not allowed to or supposed to go to Oklahoma State University. His father wanted him to go elsewhere. He went against his father as some sort of way to show that I'm the man now. Very complicated, sad relationship, actually. And now he's the father of 4 kids himself, and it's worth watching. It's not a long documentary, only 90 minutes on Amazon, and so do it.
Sad relationship. If I were talking to both of them, would his father say that he loved Barry, and would Barry say he loved his father?
Of course, because you always say that. That's not the question. The better question is if you said to Barry, did you succeed because of your father or in spite of your father? I believe if he were honest, he would say he did it to spite his father, not to please his father.
And his father thinks he did it because of his father.
Of course he does.
That's how fathers go.
Second best running back ever.
Not always. That's not.
My dad doesn't think that I'm successful because of him.
Not real and genuine love. That's not how it always goes.
Yeah,
no.
my dad loves me.
Now, that's why I asked you, does he actually love him? And you're like, no. The better question was it spite or was it earned credit? And I asked him, is it love? And that's how Dave does the bottom line math. Samson sucks 20. The promo code at lebetardaf.com. 20% off. The hat fell off just as we were starting here. It came off, so I am now serving my Eagles punishment.
You look like Carlos Santana.
Well, how can I look like Glenn Fry and the Eagles and Carlos Santana?
It's the mustache. It's of a time. You know that Carlos Santana, in his very memorable Woodstock performance, the drugs he was on at the time made him think that his guitar was a snake.
Thank you, Stugotz. I appreciate you lovingly placing my hat back on. Those are good drugs. Stugotz could probably speak to some of that kind of stuff. I want to get to the useless sound in a second. Tony, it's hot, right? You just took off your jacket or whatever.
Boiling, Dan.
Yeah, me too. Like these. I have noticed this. I just noticed it. I'm just generally having a stamina problem. The thing that happens to Cody at the end of shows has begun happening to me, but it happens more quickly when I'm wearing these costumes. The doing of the show while wearing the costumes is an energy expenditure. I think that you're going to find that even a young buck like you, who could have been a professional athlete if he hadn't had to always endure the high ankle sprain that makes him not be Jaylen Phillips, that you too will feel it today.
Dan, you look a little like Cheech.
Put it on the poll. Go ahead and put your nominees up there. Who does Dan look most like? Cheech, Carlos Santana,
Ron Jeremy.
A member of the Eagles, Ron. Thank you. Stan Van Gundy. If I'm Ron Jeremy, then I'm also Stan Van Gundy.
Twins,
correct? Yes, I'm both of these. Yeah. I want to get to the useless sound montage,
You
though.
look like the bad guy from Ghost, the first bad guy.
Oh, yeah, the guy on the train? No, the first bad guy?
Yeah, the train guy. The one that ends up, spoiler alert, killing Patrick Swayze.
That guy, yes.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't the guy behind it. It was a whole deal.
Stugotz is the only one laughing. I see everyone else, Mike, because they don't have any idea what the movie is. Chris and Jeremy and Tony.
Willie Lopez?
Oh, God, what a character.
I don't know how you can make me both Carlos Santana and a member of the Eagles, though. There are ethnicity issues with what you're doing.
Well, no, it's just different hair color. It's like if I had this remote that changes the color eyes. If I change the hue of your hair, boom, Glenn Fry. Laurel
Maybe
Canyon guy.
Young Sam Elliott, maybe?
That's just people with a mustache.
Yeah, but
you
it's
guys.
a very
that's right.
distinct mustache.
That's all you guys are doing. So then do I look like Dave Wanstead?
No.
No. Now
Absolutely
you've got too
not.
far. Yeah.
I want to get to the useless sound montage. It is belching absurdity. They have just put on the bad guy from Ghost on the screen, and now you can see
I hate that guy.
If he was wearing a pirate hat.
Why do you hate that guy? He brought a spiritual connection to Patrick Swayze.
He
and
had
Demi
to
Moore.
die.
Yeah, but their love lived beyond for eternity. That was the story. That was the point of the story.
Mike, Dan also kind of looks, if you look closely, you got to squint, okay? Like the crazy guy in Ghost who taught Patrick Swayze how to move a coin.
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, not at all. That's very insulting. That guy looks like a mutated Jeff Van Gundy.
I learned of the movie Ghost through the Vin Diesel classic The Pacifier, the children's movie he made, which is also the only Vin Diesel movie I've ever seen.
Ghost is incredible. It's got the scene where they're making jars of clay and all that good stuff. Whoopi Goldberg, didn't she win an Academy Award for that performance? Just an amazing romantic movie. It's a great. I actually saw it on the West End in London as a musical. Incredible.
So now video has found the guy, and Stugotz was just faking it. Stugotz has only envisioned this guy from the start of this story. And
I know Willie Lopez.
No, you
Get
do.
outta
No,
here.
Stugotz, I caught you in an unraveled fraud. This
Well,
is
no,
the guy you were imagining throughout. It's why you bring him up again. This is the man. The reason you laughed, don't lie to me. I know you. The reason you laughed the way you did the first time is because this is the guy you thought Mike was calling me. Not Willie Lopez. This guy. And of course, that's funnier because look at this guy.
Yeah, he looks
It's
like
true. Everything you just said. I mean,
if Jeff Van Gundy is the first stage of Pokemon evolution, that guy that teaches Sam how to push the coin is second.
Let's play the useless sound montage, please.
I think we did what we had to do to win today.
I asked the guys to fight at the beginning of the week, and that's exactly what they did. It was unfortunate that they just made one more play than we did.
It's a one game at a time mentality, and our guys came ready to play, and we found a way to win. Doesn't have to be pretty, a lot of things to correct, but we found a way to win.
When the pressure goes up, who comes down and is level and is calm, and our guys are.
Anytime you're playing in the quarterback position, the team's putting a lot of trust in you, to kind of lead the way. And you know what? Today we had an opportunity to go win a game for our team, and just couldn't be more happy and more proud of our group.
I wish we would have finished the game a lot better.
Yeah. Just trying to put the best team we can out there every week.
It's the NFL. It's a battle, especially these division games, and we knew it was going to be a street fight all week. I was proud of how we fought, and at the end of the day, they got the best of us, and it sucks, but we're going to keep pushing.
He made plays today. He put some balls where not many people can put them. He did a great job.
And we need to expect more from ourselves when we're in those positions to go score.
When you spot 21 points to a very good football team, you're gonna struggle to win a game, and you can't do the things that we did and expect to win.
We win the turnover battle and we won the game, and that was the difference.
I think the biggest thing is we just gotta stay the course. It's already gone. That's the tough part. Is the reality is we got to be better. It starts with me being better. And, I'm looking forward to getting back to work.
I thought our guys really answered the bell.
So proud of those guys. It shows up the way they work, the way they go about their business every single day.
In this league, there's too much parity, and you come out and they're well coached. They got good players. You come out and self-destruct like that in certain areas, and then you have a problem.
Find ways to win. That's always the mentality. That's always the approach. And I think this is a moment where you go back and you reflect on it, you learn from it like every win, and you treat them all the same. When you win or when you lose, it's about what can I learn from this.
I think any offense is fun when you're scoring a lot of points.
I'm a man, and I'm not going to let somebody just come push me, especially in my house. Like, you're not going to just touch me after the whistle. You clearly hear it. And I'm not mad at that dude. Like, he playing hard. He maybe tried to slow, he didn't, but I ain't like it. And I got to control my composure. At the same time, I'm a man. And like Drewski said, I'm going to stand on business. So...
Yeah, it was complimentary football at its finest.
Man, it was a chess game going on, Look, he's a good defensive coach now, and those guys played hard. It's a prideful team. So, look, it wasn't ideal. You don't always want it to be that way, but my God, man, to be able to hang in there and, they're able to come back and we just answer back and then we're able to close it out. I mean, it's a hell of a win now. I'm not going to take that away from us.
On a day like today, you need that leadership. You need that togetherness.
We made too many mistakes. They had a good game plan, played a good game. But at the end of the day, you make too many mistakes, and against a good football team, you lose.
They're coming together. They're working. They're getting better. They're playing faster, playing more confident.
Yeah, we're all waiting to see, is it a call? That's what we're waiting for. See, did the official make a call here? Oh, he didn't call it. Oh, he did call it.
I put a lot into this game. I prepared my ass off.
Oh, it was obviously a lot of fun to be out there and play football again, especially with those group of guys. You can tell just being here in a short time that it's a great locker room. So it was definitely a lot of fun to be out there.
That was a horrible day at the office. We didn't do much right in that game, to be quite honest with you. So we got to own that, obviously, starting first and foremost with me. This JV football in a lot of ways.
David Crosby. David Crosby.
That's better. Yep. Yes. Mm-hmm. Frumpy, a little frumpy.
That's real good.
That's good. That is who I look like more than anyone. Pirate David Crosby. That is absolutely accurate. I think you finally found it after rummaging around inside your head.
It's the chins. It's not even the mustache.
Yeah, I got it. Frumpy was enough. I thought Frumpy was where I should put the line.
Didn't he sire the child of Melissa Etheridge?
You can look that up instead of... Wait, hold on a second. Let me find it here.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
I think I'm like a dog with a bone on this one. Yep, you did. There you go.
Good. So it's no longer speculation. It's actually the truth. Stugotz, I want to ask you something about what Inter Miami is doing because I will fail here, but I will try to continue to conceal and hide how unhappy I am with the business elements of what happens in business. It's something that has made me, my brother just died, but second to that is how much I've had to deal with business bullshit over the last couple of years.
Gene Shalit.
Oh, that's even better.
That's tremendous.
That's even better.
Excellent.
That is even better.
Gene Shalit.
Video, you got to put Gene Shalit up there for the audience that doesn't know the old movie critic, because that one's perfect. You're not going to do better than that. I defy you to do better than that. But the business... the business element of.
I was thinking younger Gene Shalit, but that'll work.
That's perfect.
This works. Yes.
No, wait. I think you need more of his hair and not a hat. Let's go ahead and get younger Gene Shalit so that we can more truly represent Mike's artistic vision here.
The very first picture on Google will do it.
Yes, the young Gene Shalit will be better. So I hate business because business steals the soul from things. Let's just leave it at that. I won't bore you with the details. But Inter Miami is just doing good business when they get out there that they are sold out. They're sold out, they say, but they haven't put that many tickets on sale, but they've put those tickets on sale at double the price. So by saying they're sold out, all they're doing is increasing their demand. It's a lie. It's just business. I'd like to enjoy all of the messy things without being gouged the way I am during hurricane time around here where people charge $7 for a gallon of water.
Are they sold out, but perhaps it's season tickets that are sold out?
The club announced that they were sold out of season tickets, which is a huge accomplishment, especially considering that in many cases they more than doubled certain prices. They were smart in that the supporters section, which threatened a walkout after negotiating with the club, was the section that had the smallest rate hike. So the most vocal had the least things to complain about. But I think what's happened, and this is purely speculative, and it's informed speculation. I don't think the demand was there.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good, Mike.
I don't doubt that they found some whales to get some of the pricier tickets out there. But here's what I think happened with the season ticket announcement. I think that they saw how the market was going, and they probably just internally decided, okay, instead of a certain number of season tickets that are available, let's move that number so we can have this big announcement because we are killing it in the business game. I think generally, and the Guardian wrote an article about this, legacy fans like myself are really frustrated. I did not renew my season tickets over this, mainly on principle, but also budgetary. It's really freaking expensive, and I don't like being the one to have to pay for this stadium and Lionel Messi.
Put it on the poll, please. Calling yourself a legacy fan. Douche or no douche when the teams existed for a couple of years. Good work, Tony. You were right on it. I appreciate that the job has been made more difficult for you today. It is unwieldy. That thing also looks heavy on your head. Is it also heavy? I'm reminded of the movie Pop Star, the DJ having the difficulties with the head because it was too heavy.
So it's not that it's heavy. It's that the neck hole is kind of like going around. So the problem is it doesn't have a place for your chin to sit. So inside of my teeth right here that obviously you can't see, there's like a steel grate. And the problem is my chin rubs against the steel grate part, and it kind of hurts.
Put it on the poll, please, because the comedy has kind of died a little bit here. Is Pop Star one of the great comedies of the last 10 years? Yes or no? Because I don't know whether it's regarded that way, but I think it would be.
That better come in at 100%. Yes.
I think it has to be. Like, I think it is so well done that I do believe that it's something that should endure, but I don't think it's going to be remembered as one of the great comedies.
No, number one is House of Gucci. I swear to God.
I thought it was The Lighthouse.
That one's a laugh riot, too.
It is great.
All right, 1 and 2.
I want to talk, Stugotz, about what is happening in the NFL that I think is smart. And if the player empowerment is somehow going to leak into football, where the bodies are really disposable, and they can make from one year to the next running backs disposable according to money. If it's going to be like that, then of course the powerful player, the star player in that sport who has value, will also manipulate the system in order to get where he wants to get to and do the work the way that he wants to do the work. So I've told you how much I enjoy that Jadeveon Clowney every year just skips training camp, just negotiates so that he doesn't have to go through all those practices and says, hey, I'll get there when I get there, and I'll get to the quarterback in 2.4 seconds all season because I want to do it my way and I don't want to get hurt, and my body is my economy and I need to protect it. But I just saw this happen with Shaq Leonard. I'm like, why doesn't he get with a team? First of all, the coldness of how Shaq Leonard left the Colts. He's given out turkeys in the community as a multi-time Pro Bowler there, and they wave him while he's giving out the turkeys. He's hurt by it, and the reason they're waving him is because his body's hurt. His body's not as explosive as it was because football's done that to him.
That's a bad time to wave someone, though. You can't have him go out in the community, hand out turkeys to people in need, and then cut him while he's doing it. Terrible job.
Stugotz, you came up with the single most obvious point anyone could have.
I just wanted to point it out. I mean, what a terrible job of the Colts.
Someone had to.
Yeah. I mean, geez.
It's true.
Call someone out.
The reason I brought it up because, yes, it's terrible and everyone can agree with it. Like, that's truly terrible timing.
I just wanted to hammer home the point.
You know what? Let me do it differently to give you another chance so it can be even better. You're not going to believe this, Stugotz, but Shaq Leonard, while he was in the delivery room, the birth of his child, he is cradling his baby, and the Colts called him and told him he was cut.
You know what? That is such a terrible job by Jim Irsay and the Colts. I mean, you are about to give birth, give life to someone, and you kill someone's career? You can't do that. What a terrible job by the Colts. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, they didn't kill his career because what he did is the Cowboys and Eagles wanted him, and so he spent 2 weeks not playing and negotiating with them so he could get the best deal. And the Eagles are now the expendables. They have 8 defensive linemen, Stugotz, that they've been rotating for a few seasons, and that pass rush is so good, at least because they can bring the fresh, not broken guys or the less broken guys in with the Fletcher Coxes who have been there for 180-some-odd games.
They also have this great strategy where they draft guys from Georgia.
That also helps. Yeah. That's why their GM is considered a genius. That helps as well. Yeah. But the latest player that they're talking about joining them is Ndamukong Suh, who hasn't played all season, played for them last year. And basically, at this point in his career, I mean, he won a championship with Tom Brady. At this point in his career, Ndamukong Suh is going to decide where and when he wrecks his body for how many games, at what time of the season, how hard he practices. And you really have with the Eagles and throughout football, if the bodies are going to be that disposable, the guys who have some remaining power left are going to say, okay, I'll sell you my body at this price, but it's only going to be for 6 weeks. I'm not going to do it. I'm not buying in on everything you guys are doing. I'll be a mercenary and only that.
Frank Zappa.
Not bad.
Is that better than Gene Shalit? All right, put it on the poll,
please. Or the
please.
guy from Ghost.
Put it on the, which one?
The coin guy.
Oh, that's Jeff Van Gundy. Willie Lopez.
I would like, Juju, for you to put photographs of all these people on a poll and ask them who I look most like, please, at Le Batard Show, because my vote is for Gene Shalit, but you're doing well. Are you engaging the YouTube community on this? Because I would like this to be slightly more interactive with our community. If they have any nominees, someone should be monitoring the YouTube. In fact, Tony, I would love if you were like our social media coordinator who monitored the YouTube while wearing that ridiculous mouse head and told me what the good stuff was on the YouTube comment. Like, sift through it and find the 2% that's not poisonous acid.
Dan, I was trying to actually look up the Shaq Leonard deal, and I realized I had to sit this close to the screen because I can't really see. So right now he's in a 1-year, $1.08 million deal.
That'll make you perfect for
the
this
best
job.
part is that Tony's not taking it off during the breaks, and I just saw him like responding to a text last break. And it was just funny watching him like look at his phone.
I have to hold it really close to my face, like right around here is good.
You had that at 2%, huh?
It's not even that good, probably. No, internet. Okay, put that on the poll as well, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Can you find even 2% of positive commentary on the internet? Power helpful, not even positive. No, don't. It doesn't. Look, I know you're going to say no to positive. How about just a helpful commentary?
Should have went Tank Zappa, considering that he's more slender.
Yes. Could I add Joseph Stalin to the mix?
Whoa! Why are you bringing politics into this?
I'm not. I'm bringing a mustache into it.
Yep. Look, Jeremy might be more political than anyone around here. He wants to do a show with George Santos. Him and Mike are arguing off air about we need to get George Santos for a podcast, and Mike, that liberal snowflake, and Jeremy,
also a liberal snowflake.
Also a liberal snowflake who apparently likes George Santos because the lies are so transparent that he's morphing into Stugotz right in front of our eyes.
Hey.
That's exactly it. George Santos is the funniest person in America, maybe in the world. I think that these lies, he lied about being Jewish for no reason. I believe in his statement for Dianne Feinstein's passing is how he announced that he had a husband. Like, he is straight up the funniest person in the world, and I don't understand why we wouldn't give him a giant platform to continue to spew lies. We already have Stugotz.
He's on Cameo. I mean,
yeah,
and he said he was Jewish to please the Jews in that room.
Correct.
He changes based on what room he's in.
Yes,
That's
correct.
It's
amazing.
I'll concede that it is funny, but I think the greater problem that I have with us all laughing at George Santos now is it's indicative of like the big plague of American politics right now, in which you can be shameless. You're not governed by shame. And I think if you double down on how funny George Santos is, or you fund his legal defense team by getting a cameo, you continue to normalize people that represented a party and a party line, because not all Republicans are January 6th insurrectionists, but a lot of them are, and a lot of them end up on Dancing with the Stars or running for president again, and it's all so normalized. These people should be ostracized from normal society. We shouldn't be funding their legal defense. This is shameful behavior that we reward, and after the fact, make a punchline. It's pretty serious what's happening in November, and I'm just not down with all laughing at it. However, it is funny with George Santos, and I'm willing to make that one exception. But please, let it stop there.
Dan, somebody in the chat says you look like Gallagher.
Also, yes, Gallagher. Thank you, Tony.
Gallagher's
Excellent
brother.
work.
Yeah.
Gallagher's brother did hit. I think Gallagher's brother did become Gallagher too. I think once Gallagher's career was over, his brother just took over the act as Gallagher's.
Like
pretending,
the number 2 or
That's
TLO?
a heady play.
No, that's a good question, Chris, because I believe he was. I believe he was touring the world as Gallagher, but not because he was his brother. He wasn't actually Gallagher, but. In a place where politics, Tony, I can't tell from your face. Did you want to talk again?
I was going to say, kind of like The Prestige.
Yeah, I wish you hadn't said it.
I mean, File. Great film.
You went to him.
Stugotz, I know, because it looked like he wanted to go, but he's been raising his hand, but now the computer is in his hand and the eyes were red, so I was confused by the mixed messaging. I have in front of me, Stugotz, though, speaking of politics, a series of details about Christie's niece.
Okay.
And since we're already here, Shannon Epstein was charged. I was reading the details, and they kept getting better, and they kept getting worse. Shannon Epstein, 26, was charged with 1 felony resisting police by force and 2 misdemeanor counts of disturbing the peace by public intoxication in connection with an incident on Thanksgiving, November 24th, 2022 on an airplane. The saga began aboard a Spirit Airlines plane as it taxied to the runway at New Orleans International Airport, according to NOLA.com. Now, that sentence right there, Stugotz, is per square foot where you find more drunkenness than anywhere in America. Spirit Airlines headed in and out of New Orleans.
Anything can happen. I mean,
anything.
Seriously, yes.
Anything. And then when Epstein allegedly asked a Hispanic family seated nearby if they were smuggling cocaine. After being booted off the aircraft, Epstein allegedly screamed at airline employees and refused to leave the jet bridge. The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office said it eventually took 7 deputies to restrain Epstein, who had to be strapped to a wheelchair. She allegedly bit, spat at, and kicked the deputies as she ranted about knowing Donald Trump, threatening the deputies' jobs, and saying, "Do you know who I am? I'm Christie's daughter, and you're so bleeped."
And the lead deputy in that case, George Santos.
Go sit in the penalty box.
Oh, wow. Deserved it.
He's polluting everybody around here with his desire to get Santos on the air, even though it's dangerous. You will do anything for clicks, Taché. It's why you're an Emmy winner.
He is not dangerous. He didn't have any real power. He's just funny. We can't find the funny. Please. It's all effed anyway. The ship has sailed, Captain Hook.
Okay, but which part of Get Out of Here did you not understand? That felt a little bit like a mutiny, and you do not want this hook in your ass.
What?
Hell yeah.
Maybe you do.
Who wants a hook
I don't know, man. Go look at the internet at things that no, you say this,
No,
but
let's not play that game.
go look at the internet.
I don't want to.
Go.
What happened there?
What just happened, Tony?
You can't see.
Tony, what did you break? What
Nothing.
happened?
No, my water bottle fell. My ear hit the water bottle. You can tell my ear's really big.
What a great sentence.
I was trying to look at something on the YouTube chat, but then I realized that there's a lot of space up here. So as I tried to lean in,
All right, you stay on this, even though we're not even. I want you to keep. This is what I want you to do, okay? Because we're not going to be live anymore in a second. So the YouTube chat's not going to be live, but I want you to stay in there looking for nuggets throughout, even though no one's there.
As we wrap up our live, let me tease something. We've got a huge secret announcement coming up later in the show.